Hey, I'm Linnea.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Buzz. We are the LDS Singles Anonymous. Hey, Linnea. What are we doing today?
We're going to be talking about the awkward questions that we always hear during the holidays. In particular, we hear them all the time just as singles. But the holiday scaries, the holiday horrors, we're going to go home and we're going to be hearing these questions. So we thought we'd look up some of those and talk about those statements or questions that we are worried about hearing over the holidays.
All I want for Christmas is to not be asked if I'm dating anyone.
Oh, the greatest Christmas present ever.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about those things. The holidays, they come around and it's always, you start worrying about the things you're going to hear. You start worrying about the questions that you're going to get asked by grandma, if you're going to your home ward, by all the little old ladies there, by your aunts and uncles, by your parents, by everyone. There are always comments that they have about your status, your marital status, every time. And it's always like a stressful moment, I feel, for singles. So
how are you going to fix it?
How are you going to fix it?
Help me fix it.
Okay, well, we looked up some questions and went through and found some of the ones that I feel like maybe cause the most anxiety or potentially are just the most obnoxious.
All right.
So we're going to talk about those and see if we can come up with some good answers.
Okay.
So first one, why are you still single? How many times do we get that one? Why are you still single, or are you putting yourself out there? Like, come on.
Well, I don't want to jump the gun here, but allow me to tell you my answer to that. I usually start by trying to be a little somber and going, I know that God is not supposed to have favorites, but he really loves me. And I am so blessed. Loves me.
And then just leave it.
I'm blessed more than most.
I'm blessed more than most. See, that's a good way. Or even redirect.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great option.
So just when I feel like the thing people always want to talk about is your relationship status.
Every time.
They never ask you about anything else going on in your life. And I'm like, I do 100 million really cool things during the year, or maybe not super cool things, but just things that I'm interested in. I have so much going on in my life. Sometimes it's like, that's why I'm not dating. I have a whole lot going on and it's hard to fit that in there. And so it's like, but no one's going to ask you about that. And so sometimes when people ask you questions, you can just start, well, no, but the other day I was working on this podcast with my friends and we did this thing and it was cool. Mm-hmm. So that you can talk about it. It's possible to just talk about things that you want to talk about when people don't even ask you that question, and you can have the conversation that you want to have.
Mm-hmm. What's another thing? Let's see. Oh, we talked about this isn't necessarily a question, but a comment. They could say potentially after, like, hey, you're not dating anyone? Okay, well, don't worry. There are lots of fish in the sea, or someday your time will come. And you're just like, yeah, how many times have I heard that one? All the time.
There may be lots of fish in the sea, but other than Ariel, I've not seen a lot of things in the sea that I really have an interest in. Grouper.
You're like, yeah, no thanks, I don't want to fish.
I don't want to fish. I don't want any mermaid grandchildren here.
Yeah. Or there's
mermaid children.
like, have you seen the oceans lately?
They're a little
There's a lot of trash in there.
A lot of trash.
I don't know that that's where I want to go diving.
Or your day will come. It's kind of foreboding. Like,
It's rather ominous. I mean, like, that's a Halloween question.
Will come.
it's kind of creepy. It's a little bit
What it
weird.
feels like.
Yes. So, I don't know. Just kind of laugh it off. Come with that one. Another thing.
That's actually an important thing, regardless of any of these questions. Whichever one you get, just in whatever response you give, you can always laugh it off. These people, especially the people that you see once a year, and a lot of people, they're not actually that invested in your well-being, and so their opinions don't matter. And so even if you don't laugh to their face, you can always laugh about it later and be like, yeah, that's what people do.
I think that's a lot of it. Don't take these things too personally, and you gotta figure the weight of what it means to you is what that person means to you. Mm-hmm. People they don't know what to say because you have that hole in your life according to them. So the only thing they know how to do is, are you filling that hole yet? Well, first of all, it's not that easy. And second of all, don't take it too personally, especially if they're not that invested in you.
That's a good point. I think another thing that people often say is, how are you still single? Why hasn't anyone come and snapped you up already? Like, oh yeah.
I'm a Cabbage Patch doll on the wall, and there's like 7 Cabbage Patch dolls. Please pick me, please pick me. They haven't snapped me up already because I'm not a good enough Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh, I have a broken leg, or my hair's coming out, or yeah, right. Like, kind of makes you feel like they're trying to be nice.
What's secretly wrong with you?
Yeah, that's
We're trying to figure out. It seems okay on the surface.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
That's what it feels like. Because, like, obviously you appear to be a doll together, but you're not snatched up. What is it? So that's, like, it's kind of an uncomfortable thing to hear.
Yeah. It may come in from an intention of, like, you're so wonderful. Like, why hasn't anyone picked you up? You look so great. I'm sure that's the intention, but it can, on the other side, it feels like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I feel pretty good about myself. So, like, what? There must be something. There must be something wrong. No one has snatched me up yet. There must be something wrong with me.
Well, the thing is, like, your answer can be, do I need to be snatched up? Like, do I want to be snatched up? That's a little weird. I don't think I'm not for sale.
Yeah.
It's not I'm gonna be around a while, right?
Right, I'm not gonna be, this isn't like a going out of business sale. There's not like an expiration date here.
What's the rush?
And like, I'd also kind of takes away some of my agency in the situation. Like, well, no one's come around and grabbed me,
Throw me over the shoulder.
threw me over their shoulder and carried me off. And so it's like, I think I'd like to have a little more say in how this goes, rather than just being like snatched up, kidnapped.
Kidnapped. Oh, uncomfortable. Let's see. What's another one? Oh, sometimes when you have people who are maybe slightly more invested in your love life or in your life in general, and maybe you broke up with someone recently, or maybe you went on a date and it didn't go over so well, and they say, oh, well, you should give them another chance, or don't be so picky. You're too picky. How do you feel about that one?
My boundaries are my life, and my boundaries are my happiness. And if I have made the choice to say no to a situation, to a person, to a scenario, that is my agency. Do not step on my agency. Do not tell me that I need to give someone another chance, that I have consciously said, wow, those last 2 dates were so awkward that I just felt something, and so I made a decision. Do not second guess my decision. No way, no how.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. It feels like they're second guessing. Like,
Right.
you aren't capable of making this decision on your own.
You're just being
you should
too
let me tell you.
You're just being too picky.
You're being too picky.
Because eternity is really short, and you only wait.
Wait, what?
You have to make a decision that determines your eternity. Oh my goodness.
You might want to take
Maybe you
a
should
little
be
while
more
to think
picky.
about it.
Maybe you should
Yeah,
be
right?
more picky. Yeah.
Or you say, again, this is me and my terrible nature. Maybe you should be a little more picky, and you go, maybe you should have been.
Maybe you should. That'll shut them up pretty quickly.
So I did say one time, and it shut them up pretty quickly, but I am on very good terms with this very old lady. And she said, now, when is your wedding going to be? And I went, oh, I was thinking the same thing the other day. When is your funeral going to be? She laughed it off because I knew she would. But you probably shouldn't try that to the old ladies in your ward when they ask you that.
Be careful. But, you know, the fun answer. You can at least dream about doing that. Makes you feel better inside.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the last one?
So the last one that we found, I feel like every single has heard this once or twice, at least, in their lives. When are the grandbabies coming? I want grandbabies. Oh.
How
Is
much
that the cringiest? Is that the cringiest of them
feel
all?
like you just
I think that
cringed.
might be the
You took the
cringiest.
cringe and turned it to 11.
Yeah.
That is just, first of all, they made it about themselves.
Yes. It's no longer
They
about
didn't
you.
ask about babies. They asked
No.
about their grandbabies.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true. Yes. I I feel like that's the sound that's coming out of grandma's mouth.
Yes.
She's like, I want them. You know, but it is. It's no longer about you.
Yeah.
They don't care about you anymore. They don't care that they're your children or your spouse or your life. They just
No.
want
They even
theirs.
skip past the spouse stage. Like, are you happy in a happy, loving
Right?
relationship? They're like, where are the children?
Yes. Yep.
There are a couple of different ways you could go. There's the appropriate avenue, where you could give them a real answer, or the very inappropriate answer, which is probably something I would give because that's the kind of guy I am.
Because that's
So,
Buzz.
let's say I was the girl in this conversation and my mother asked me and I wanted to give a snarky response back.
Hey, Buzz, when am I getting grandbabies?
You know, my friend from high school said there's a bar right up the road where I could find an absentee father tonight. In fact, can you drive me? I might need a ride home.
Yeah, that's going to make her blush up a storm. Like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, because really,
That's what
a
they're basically asking.
grandbaby,
Yeah.
a grandbaby could, yeah, that's really easy to get. Now, a responsible relationship
That's a
where
little bit
children
harder.
come from, that's a little more difficult.
Exactly.
Again, why do they ask such unbelievably personal questions right off the bat?
Especially after not seeing you in so long.
Right.
Like, that's the one thing.
Like, that's the one thing you
one
care
thing.
about. That's all that's
Yeah.
important to you right now.
When are you gonna finally fix your broken self?
Yeah, and that's really what I think we need the reminder of. We can remind
Yeah.
ourselves throughout this whole season. We're not broken. We're not incomplete. We don't have a hole. That our marital status is not the only important thing that they should be asking us. And redirecting is a great way to even retrain them. Like, hey, I know that you feel like that's the only thing that you can talk about because that's the only thing I haven't seen this person in forever. And the
What
question
else
that
are you
we
gonna
always
talk about?
ask, single, your status. Okay, perfect. That is the question that they just automatically go to. And sometimes, you just kind of love them for it. You're like, okay, well, let's teach you.
That's their way. So for a lot of people, that is their way of showing that they do care about you, and they just don't know what else to ask you. And so
I
they're
think-
like, well, how's your dating life?
Yeah.
Are you getting married? Are you gonna have grandkids? Because and a lot of people, I think, when they're like, oh, well, like I followed the rules. I got married. I had kids, and I'm happy, and that's the path to happiness. And I want you to be on that path to happiness too.
It's an escalator. Where are you on the escalator of where I
on,
view
come up
the
here.
world?
Come hang out with us.
You should be here at this age, here at this age, here at this age, here at this age. We are not on the escalator of life. We are on a different whole scheme. And we might climb a ladder and then go flat and then make a big jump up and a trampoline move. And the escalator, we've got to break free of that. We, as whatever age we are and single, we're off that standard escalator. Well, let's just make it to the top, which is to be a happy individual and to do what we're supposed to be doing so we can live in heaven. It's about our own personal happiness. It's about who we are. It's about what we've accomplished. I'm so tired of someone telling me that my accomplishments aren't enough because
But you're still single.
Right.
So let's take control.
That's our message for this episode. Take control of your holidays and learn how to redirect when people ask you uncomfortable personal
Right.
questions.
Let's just go out and let's live the best lives we can live and be the happiest we can be. Because give up on the escalator and let's just get to the top.
That's been it. I hope post some questions down there that you are afraid of hearing, or any funny things that
Any
you've
funny
heard.
stories? Maybe
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing or the worst thing someone's asked you or said to you over Christmas about your relationship status?
We want to hear
We wanna hear
it.
these things.
Please. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. This is LDS Singles Anonymous.